will briefly. This one is he's Congressman Mark Wayne Mullen. He's on Fox News. He's like a very run of the mill modern day quote unquote conservative Republican. The dude doesn't really particularly step outside of what is the given talking points, and here he is on Fox News talking about grocery prices and things like that and inflation. And you tell me in the chat, please engage with us on this one, what you think, because this one gets my blood boiling a little bit.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think she's great, but I don't know what she's talking about. Walmart just came out and said that grocery prices are down over 20% this time last year. They said Thanksgiving, and that was the CEO of Walmart. Amazon said that the trinkets, the things you were buying last year for Christmas, are down. We have inflation that was at a high of 9.1%, average of 5% underneath Biden. Today it's hovering around 2.5%. Energy prices are down, the lowest they've been since President Trump was last in office. And we know energy is the backbone of inflation. And you can't make a product, you can't deliver a product without factoring the energy costs into it. So prices are down. What is up is protein, which is a lot of people, protein meaning pork, chicken, and beef. The president made a huge step at that the other day. If you saw the Truth Social post, he said he's going to look at the meat packers because the meat packing industry is consolidated, and three of the top four meat packers are foreign owned. Two of them out of Brazil, one of them in China. That's a national security issue. Plus the difference between what we sell, I'm a rancher myself, what we sell cattle for, what we call in the hoof or feed cattle, and what the retail is. There's such a huge gap. It's the biggest gap we see in any industry from a product being made to the product of retail. That's where the president's focus is. But if you look at milk, you look at bread, you look at eggs, which a lot of people use as kind of a measuring point, all those prices are down. And energy costs, like I said, I'll repeat myself, it's down too. We can tell it at the pump.
What do you think?
First thing, fudge packers are up in this country.
They're unfortunately they're very high in the population.
Second thing, Walmart said grocery prices are down 20%, and you believe them? What are you, fucking retarded? You think inflation is negative 20% on Walmart groceries? Tell me you don't do your grocery
then
shopping.
Why did Trump? Why did he talk about the potential of lowering the tariffs to bring prices down if the prices are already down?
I mean, if you think that Walmart actually genuinely told you that prices are down 20% and you believe them, you're just a retard. You're just retarded. I'm sorry. There's no way that you could believe that prices are down. Inflation at Walmart is negative 20%. That's stupid. That's stupid. And then he goes on to say, and this is a good point. This is a good point. He closes it out on the meat prices. Actually, he closes it out on the eggs and stuff like that. To be honest with you, the eggs are down in price because at the end of the Biden presidency, the Biden policy was that we're going to kill 1,000 chickens because one of them around all of the other 1,000 had this mild flu. So we're going to kill the other 1,000 just to make sure it doesn't spread. And so obviously there was a choke on the amount of eggs that were getting produced. So egg prices skyrocketed. So obviously egg prices are down. I don't accept that argument. I'm not saying that Trump is bad in that regard. I'm just saying that egg prices were never supposed to be high. They were low before the chicken flu thing. They're pretty low now. I get 18 pasture raised eggs for $5 at Sam's Club. That's a pretty good deal, in my opinion. Could they be cheaper? Sure. But $5 for 18 pasture eggs. You can get that box of 60 eggs at Walmart for like $10, bro. Eggs are not super expensive. They weren't before that bird flu. So like I'm not gonna accept that as even like it's not even worth debating. It was obviously that one thing that threw it out of line. But he does make a really good point on the beef prices, which is probably the big issue, is that protein is up. And that's an issue because protein is supposed to be the staple of your diet. For me, it's about 8. For me and my wife, it's about 85% of the diet. And my baby is 7.5 months old. She still is 99% breast milk. But the foods that we've started introducing are ground beef and ground beef and ground beef. So like it's beef. We're a beef family. So like most people have beef as a staple in their diet or protein writ large. So chicken, all of these things. Of course, the price being up on that is a big issue, but he does make a good point. He does make a good point that a lot of our meat is packed outside of this country, which should not be the case because we have plenty of highly suitable farmland in this country, which is not utilized properly. And it could be because of regulations. Food is regulated to death.
A lot of fudge is packed in this country, unfortunately.
A lot of fudge in multiple different ways.
All right. Anything else before we jump into this next one?
Literal fudge packing and poop packing as well.
That mostly happens in India, though.
What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, it's just obvious. I mean, everything's more expensive. I don't want to get into housing yet because I know that's what the next one is. But everything, literally everything,
do you believe
is
that
more
Walmart prices
expensive.
Do you go to Walmart? I don't go to Walmart.
I don't buy
do you
a lot
believe
of Walmart.
Prices?
I don't buy a lot of Walmart.
Do you believe that it's down 20%?
I don't.
Because if it is, I'm going to Walmart tomorrow.
Down though. I don't know anything that's down. I mean, nothing is down. Everything is expensive. It's like it's just stupid to say that groceries are getting cheaper when Trump said, hey, maybe I'm going to lower the tariffs so the prices come down. If they're already down by 20%, why would he need to lower the tariffs?
Can I ask you something real quick?
No.
So they bragged. They bragged last week that gas prices were the lowest in Florida that they'd been in like 10 years or whatever, or 5 years. This week, now they're back up like 50 cents. So they were like $2.69 or whatever.
It's low.
It's now $3.19 again this week.
It's like it's high threes here, I think. I don't know. Mid threes.
Did you see it? Did you see a dip last week and then they went up again this week?
Listen, I'm so rich that I don't even look at the prices. I just fill up and no.
Just swipe the card.
Yeah, just swipe the card. No, unfortunately, I actually literally don't pay attention to price because unfortunately it's not something that it's not like I can, not buy gas. So I'm just kind of like, all right, I don't show me what the damage is. I just
to be honest with you, a 30-point swing, a 30-point swing on a 10-gallon vehicle is $3. You probably, But they put up their talking points. Florida had their lowest gas prices in like 5 years last week, and then this week they're right back up to where it's now $3.19 a gallon again. Boom, just like that. And I'm not stupid. I live in a port. I live in a major port in the state of Florida, and lots of shipments come in through this area. But they bragged about it, and just like that, they're miraculously. It's almost like they were gifted their talking points and said, "Hey, please talk about this." And now, just like that, it's miraculously. So they have some talking point about prices coming down 20%, which is just insane to me. But anybody who does their own grocery shopping, which I don't know how people on Capitol Hill live, but I imagine that if you believe that prices are down 20% at Walmart and Amazon, that you genuinely don't do your own grocery shopping, because you wouldn't believe that for even 1 second. Like there's plenty of Americans that are going to Sam's Club, going to Costco, going to Aldi, going to Walmart, going to insert local grocery chain here and saying, dude, prices are still up. And you say it's 3% on your core inflation data, but it's still, even from the Biden administration, could be more than that. Seems like more than that.
Well, another issue that it's something we talked about before, but it's like, the problem is it's not even... Inflation right now is, I believe it's like 3.5%, somewhere around that number.
Last I looked, they put 3.0.
3.0. I thought it was up last month to like 3.4 or 3.5. Anyway,
that's probably month over.
It's been hovering between 3 and 4%. But this is the problem is, yeah, during the Biden administration when it was 9%, it's like, yeah, inflation is going up like crazy. But the problem is it's like it went from like, $2 to like $10. Now it's like it's $10 to but the percentage is smaller.
11.25.
Well, the percentage is smaller, but it's still because the number is so much bigger than the original starting number of 2, the percentage, even though it's small, it still shoots it up by a lot because the number is so much bigger. And let me kind of say what I mean. So when you have, let's say, 10% on $2, it's not that humongous.
That's 20 cents.
Perfect. 20 cents. When you have a 10% increase but when you have
on $10, that's an extra $1.
But when you have but hang on, if you have only 2% increase on $10, what is that?
Still 20 cents.
Right. Well, this is kind of my point. It's still going up by the same amount, but it's a smaller percentage of interest, right? So the point I'm trying to make is, okay, maybe interest is lower than what it was under Biden, but unfortunately prices are so high that it's still increasing at the same amount.
And by the way, we're not defending Joe Biden. I'm going to go back in time and tell you that when they said inflation was 9-point-something%, I don't believe 20%. Them. It was in the 20s, bro. Like, we watched prices doubled during the Biden administration. Straight up. Prices on goods doubled.
In the last 10 years, the housing market doubled.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to that really quick. But a bag of Doritos is like a family size bag of Doritos is now like $7.49.
Dude, if anyone's eating Doritos, slap yourself.
Yeah, first off, don't eat them unless it's a special occasion treat for you.
No.
You should be focusing.
No. They are
let me-
literally
let me-
the worst thing you could ever buy on the shelf. They are the worst
I'm gonna
thing.
stand on my soapbox right now. You should be eating ground beef and eggs for 80% of your diet
And that's it.
and supplementing with fruit, blackberries, pineapples, bananas, stuff like that. Less than 5% of your diet should be packaged
No one
garbage.
can hear what you're saying.
Thank you.
You're speaking too mumbled into the.
Oh, so less
Whenever
than
you get your
5%
mouth
of your
really
diet.
close to it, we can't hear what you're saying.
I was bending down. Sorry, I couldn't control myself. Less than 5% of your diet should be pre-packaged garbage.
Because you get all the phthalates
that's
in your
just-
taint.
0% of your diet should be that, but I'm generous. Everybody gets to live. If you want an oatmeal cream pie, have an oatmeal cream pie.
This guy engulfed an entire box of oatmeal cream pies, and now he's
Little Debbie.
investing in Little
speaks to
Debbie.
me. Little Debbie speaks to me, dude.
All right, you ready to move on to this last one, sir?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. We got one from Teabag, and he says gas and eggs are the things that are down. Eggs, like I said, I'm not going to talk about them because the bird thing. Gas $2.89 this week and $2.99 at Stewart's and Herc.
So the problem with gas is it's down, but when we're talking like down from the highest it's ever been, it's like, okay, that's like the bare minimum thing we could
That's
do.
an easy stat to beat, you know.
So yeah, is it down? Yeah, it's down
Sure.
compared to the record high that it's ever been in the history of the world, but I don't think that means a lot because, and this is another problem too, is it's like, because everything else is so expensive, naturally gas won't even be able to come down beyond a certain point anymore. Just like any market, like the housing market, like it's never going to come down to ever where it was before. It may come down at some point when a bubble pops, like when the economy collapses or something, but it will never.
But there's a floor.
Right, it'll never come down to where it was. It's only going to keep going up on average, and this is the problem with making everything so expensive. Is even when things come down, they can only come down so far because, I mean, we're still spending money. Our government's still printing money. The inflation is still going crazy. We're at fucking almost $40 trillion of national debt. Oh, $1 trillion. It took like 70 days to gain $1 trillion of debt in this country. Like, that is absolutely disgusting.
Well, and what you made there is a very good point. So, credit to, and I heard this point from, and I knew this in the back of my mind. This is the case with anything. Like I'll use Little Debbie as an example once I give the gas example. But this is from Rob the Fire Bernstein on the secondary on Dave Smith's Part of the Problem podcast. He said that oil drilling in the United States will never allow gas to get $2 or below because once it does, they have no incentive. Then they're just going to outsource the gas because so like if Little Debbie ever starts selling their box of oatmeal cream pies for less than $4.99. There's no incentive for them to sell them anymore because they're not going to make as much margin.
Right. Even with the
unless
volume,
the volume like doubles, right?
But
like
the
if they knock
the
it to
volume
$3.99
doubles,
and it doubles,
but hang on.
then that's different.
But hang on, it's even not. If you're already selling and making money on a certain price and your volume doubles, you're not going to lower prices by half. So you're going to lower them maybe a little bit to incentivize people to buy them more, but you're not going. It's not going to come down astronomically, or else it won't be worth. It would literally be like that's the floor, right? Half is the floor because you need to, if you're making money at this, if you cut it in half, you need at least double the volume minimum.
I mean, I've worked retail sales. Most companies, the way that they do it is they like if they purchase product for $2. They sell it for 4 plus 1, so they'll sell it for 5. You know, if they buy it for 8, they'll multiply it by 2, 16, sell it for 20. They'll round it up to the
minimum. So
the
minimum margin you want is a 60% margin. That's the minimum.
Bare minimum. Scraping the bottom of the barrel is 50%. If it's not 50%, there's a 0% chance they're selling it. If it's 60% or less, it's less than 5% chance they're selling it. And that's the case with gas. So gas will never get really, really low in this country until And the only way gas will ever approach $2 again in this country is
if we pay our debt off.
if the government were to sponsor drilling, which I'm not going to back that. Or government giveth and government taketh away.
If we paid our debt off and we stopped spending so much money and we had like an actual economy that wasn't about to collapse, there's potential. And if the dollar had actual value, it would be a different story. But unfortunately, with the dollar being devalued, it's not going to get cheaper.
No, I mean, yeah, that's a huge currency debasement is a big issue in this country, because the natural course of events is not supposed to be that things get more expensive. It's supposed to be that we get better at producing them and they get cheaper, actually. But that's not been the case, because currency debasement's been ridiculous in the country. And that really is the crisis that's facing young America, is that currency debasement is going to wipe out the value of any wealth that anybody has in this country. So the current events is things are supposed to be getting cheaper. See TVs. You can now get a 65-inch flat screen TV, a smart TV, for like $300, at Walmart. You can't even get like a bag of chips for $9 these days. Like, things are supposed to be getting cheaper. They are not. Anyway.
But to round out that point, gas is a little cheaper, so I'm not going to concede anything, but I will acknowledge that gas prices are cheaper than under the Biden administration. But
mildly.
But
and I'll give Trump
one portion of the economy.
Might I remind the viewers that I am registered as no party affiliation.
All right, let's hit this last clip and get out of here.
Yeah.
When we came into this administration, our fiscal house was not in order. Inflation was at an all-time high. Interest rates were high. Mortgage rates were high. And so the first thing we've been doing at HUD is tackling the regulatory environment. One of the first acts we had was taking down the affirmatively furthering fair housing rule, which really made Washington a national zoning board. And so taking this rule down has restored local control. And I know the president talks a lot about the regulatory environment. Maria, one thing that your viewers should know, when you build a multi-family housing project, 40% of the cost of that is in regulation. And a single-family project, about 20 to 25% of that cost is regulation. So tearing down the regulatory environment from a federal standpoint, and also encouraging firmly that localities also take inventory of their regulatory environment, because that really is what cripples development and building.
But so the unfortunate part about that is that's only for new housing developments. The problem that I have is not just that new housing developments are expensive. It's that every single home in America is literally doubled in price in the last 10 years. That's my problem.
Can I give you a mild pushback? I think that if new home prices come down, existing home prices are going to follow. Because people are going to see the arbitrage. They're going to say, well, if a new home only costs me $10,000 more, or 10% more, I might as well just buy the new one. So then existing home prices are going to have to come down.
I don't know if I agree with that. Look what happened with the used car market.
Cars
were
different.
super expensive, and people were buying new cars because they were almost the same price. And used vehicles never got cheaper.
And I did that. I bought a new car because it was the same price. But I don't think that cars and homes are going to be the same. I think I completely agree. I actually agree with this guy here. I don't know really.
I don't think it's a bad thing. Listen, if we can cut regulation and make things cheaper, I'm all for it. But the problem is even the existing stuff is ridiculously expensive. So, and the interest rates are still.
I don't disagree.
Crippling.
I don't disagree. I bought a starter home for well north of $300,000, and that's fucking crazy, like absolutely fucking crazy. But what I will say is that I don't know who this guy really is, to be honest with you. I don't disagree with that. I can't verify that 40% of the cost is in, but what did I say? I think it was literally last show that I was talking about, like an inspector coming in, then they tell you got to do this and you got to get a permit for this. And now you're paying an inspector to come do this. It raises the price. I don't know if it's 40%. I won't give it. Let's say it's 10%. That's still a lot of money. 10% on a $300,000 home is 30 G's, bro. So like all of this regulation, all of this nonstop, you need to get a permit. You need an inspector to come out to look at it. You need to do it exactly this way with exactly these materials. I'm willing to bet that it certainly raises house prices at least 10%. I don't know about 40%, but if he says 40%, I have no reason to not
Well, because
believe
he's
him.
saying new.
But I'll meet him somewhere in the middle and say it's
so
20%.
Huge, right? You're talking a lot more
What was that?
regulation. What I'm saying is that he's talking modern development, so it's a lot of big houses in a development. We're not talking like a single family home somewhere in the country.
Which by the way,
we're talking about a humongous
ridiculous. Which, by the way, even if you were to come down here, if you were a home builder, if you were a handyman and you were trying to build a house, the way that it works in Florida is you have to have all of these licenses. If you want to install a toilet, you have to have plumbing certifications. You want to put in an HVAC system, you have to have HVAC
by an
certification.
inspector anyway. I don't think
And
you
it
need
does,
them
but
to do the job, but you need them to be
in Florida.
inspected.
Yes, and dude, in Florida, you need plumbing certification. You want to install a toilet and put caulk around the base, you got to have. Right now, I'm telling you right now, I would need almost certain I would need to get a permit to take my toilet out and put a new one in, which is a job that I know I could do myself. Like they are
the toilet's bigger than you.
But you know it's not a difficult job. Cut the caulk off the bottom of the toilet, turn the water. You know it's an easy job.
Change the toilet.
It's an easy job to replace a toilet, but you need a plumber to do that. To do anything to your HVAC system, you need somebody that's HVAC certified by Florida standards to do it. To change a roof, to strip a roof and put a roof on, you have to be roofing certified. To do anything to the siding or any of this stuff, to change windows, you need permits. If I wanted to change more than 3 panels on the inside of my house of drywall, I need a permit to do that. And then I need somebody to come inspect it and make sure that's up to code. Of course, that's going to raise housing costs. So, of course, that's one of the key issues that needs to be dropped in as well. And what I mentioned on the inside here is property taxes need to be cut dramatically. If we're already being taxed on our income and sales tax, property tax shouldn't exist at all.
I think we can all agree with that.
Full stop.
Don't ever say that again. Like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the things. Comment down below if you think the rent is too damn high. I mean, the housing prices are too damn high.
Where's the guy with the boot on his head?
Yep. All right. It was a good show. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Tyler will be there tomorrow at 5:30 a.m.
Okay.
Tomorrow, 5:30 a.m. I want to hear down below. Would you guys rather have me do it at 6 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays,
Yeah.
and maybe I'll add an extra one on Sunday. I was thinking about starting to do a show on Sunday at 6 a.m. as well. So let me know what you guys think. Tuesday, Thursday, potentially Sunday at 6 a.m. instead of 5:30. Tomorrow it will be at 5:30 a.m. But let me know if you guys would rather have it at 6. And let me. So let's just go through all the stuff just to make sure we got it, so everyone knows. Weekly live show Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. That's what we're gonna do this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Tyler's gonna do a weekend show every week live. Could be at any time, Saturday or Sunday. I'm gonna
Saturday or Sunday, somewhere between noon and 4 p.m. I'll say. Could be give or take, but
every Tuesday and Thursday. I may switch it to 6 a.m. But for now, it's 5:30 a.m. I'm doing the Bible study. It's gonna be. I'm changing the name and the logo and the aesthetic of the Bible study. Instead of the Early Bird Bible Study, I think I'm gonna change it to the American Crusader Bible Study. I think I'm taking on the American Crusader logo now. That's what my series is.
That way you can do it at 2 p.m. if you want.
That way I could do it whenever. Yeah, right. So anyway, Tuesdays and Thursdays definitely for now. 5:30 a.m. Thinking about changing it to 6, so be aware of that. And I'm thinking about adding a Sunday show at 6 a.m. every week. And I'm going to try to pre-record one, either with Todd or with another interview every Monday or something.
Or me.
If you want to, but you're a hard man to get a hold of. I asked you when if you're driving, if you want to do something in the morning, and I don't hear from you for a while. So that's
I don't.
If you're interested, we got to talk, and I'm interested.
By the way, anybody watching this, please follow us on Twitter at Uncultured Men. Sorry, X. Sorry, Twitter
X.
doesn't exist
and
anymore.
Facebook,
X.
and all the things, and on here, give a like. All right, we'll see y'all tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. with Tyler.